My name is Sam Lund, and I used to go to the Arlington drag strip in the early to late 60s. In the late 60s, we had a 56 Chevrolet two-door hardtop that me and Steve Burns, and Ken Hagan, Floyd Strawn, and Mike O'Brien used to all kind of take turns working on at Howard Christensen's 76 Plaza Union gas station. He sponsored the car. I think it was a bored-out 283, two 4-barrels on it, fender well headers, and a 4-speed stick. We raced it off and on out at the Arlington drag strip, but some other friends that I knew, there was a guy named, one of the Carlson brothers, I don't remember his first name now. He had a pale yellow 55 Chevy that was a gasser, and it was built up motor and all that good stuff, straight axle front end. And I rode out to the drag strip with him one day, and that was back when down both sides of the drag strip, the only thing separating you from the cars was a rope that went from like a little fence post to another fence post. So there wasn't really any protection if a car lost control. You were just right there. And everybody used to pull the front end of their car right up to that rope and then either sit in the car or sit on the hood and watch the races. And one day we decided to get out there early so we could get a good spot close to the start line. Back in those days, during the weekend of the drags, you could run around town with open headers and drag slicks on your car. The police wouldn't say anything because it was race weekend. So he had drag slicks on this thing, and it was jacked way up in the front, and he had open headers on it that he could bolt up when he was driving it on the street normally. And we pulled up to that rope, and after we watched the drags for a few hours there, we decided to leave and go into town and get something to eat. There were people on both sides of us by then sitting in their car. And I remember to the right of us, I was in the passenger seat. To the right of us, there was a lady standing there next to a car with other people. And when Carlson hit the key on this Chevy, this built engine kicked over and that fender well header unloaded right on her. It was so loud, she jumped up on the hood of her car. Scared the crap out of her. The Jantz brothers, and they were like real car nuts, and they always had super fast cars. The one I remember was a 57 Chevy Bel Air that was super fast, and I saw that run out there a few times. Some of the dragsters we saw out there were pretty famous, like Connie Kalita and Don Gartlitz and others, and I believe the 200 mile an hour quarter-mile speed record was broken at the Arlington drag strip. I worked in a Chevron station in Arlington back then, so I got to see all these different cars right up close, actually, put gas in them. And then at night, they would rent the lube bays of our gas station to park their drag cars in. We only had room for 2, but other gas stations in town did the same thing. After I closed the gas station up at night, I usually had 2 incredible drag cars sitting in the lube room. And I used to go around and just check them all out and sit in them. And it was just amazing, seeing that kind of equipment when you were a typical kid and you liked cars. The other great thing about the place was that you could take your own car, any car or motorcycle out there. For a couple of bucks, you got a ticket. You could run it through the strip, either just by yourself or you could race somebody, what they called a grudge race. And then when you got done, you'd get a official time ticket that showed the elapsed time and speed of your vehicle, which was kind of cool because everybody got to see how fast their cars were, and they had bragging rights when you compared your pink slip to everybody else's. I mean, everybody was out there during the drags. Population of Arlington then was about 1,500 people back in '64, and so literally the whole town could show up and barely have enough people to line both sides of the drag strip. I had a pit pass every time I went out. I could walk right around the pits, stand right behind those things when they took off. I remember feeling little bits of rubber off the tires hitting me. Anyway, that's all I can remember about it that's anything interesting at all, so I'll sign off now.